Oh my god, what did I just get myself into? What the fuck? Yes, I'm about to spend insert runtime here ranting about a 12-year-old game. What are you gonna do about it? Stop me? It is a rare day that I get invested in a game story. The story of Halo 1, 2, and 3 got me so enthralled that I am working on getting all of the campaign achievements, and Caitlin hasn't been sleeping for like weeks. I can't get her to turn off. I don't know how. Halo 4 was incredibly disappointing at the best of times and infuriating at the worst. It has given me a lot to think about, and plenty of aneurysms along the way. Now, I'm not here to convince anyone to not buy Halo 4, because it's bundled in the Master Chief Collection, and the other games in that bundle are fantastic. 1, 2, 3, Reach, and ODST, give that shit to me, baby. But I just want to share my thoughts on this relatively old game. So, a quick summary of the game with as few asides as possible before we get into the meat of things. We start with a cutscene describing Spartans and their origins. Basically, everyone asking what the Master Chief is doing, but never how the Master Chief is doing. After,
do you believe the Master Chief succeeded because he was, at his core, broken?
we're back onto the forward onto Dawn. At the end of Halo 3, Master Chief and the Arbiter were escaping an exploding installation, and their escape ship was ripped in half during the jump, leaving Master Chief stranded in the middle of nowhere.
Wake me when you need me.
We have something hitting the side of the ship, and Cortana thinks this is a big enough threat to wake John Halo from his cryo nap.
Wake up, Chief. I need you.
Oh my god, she said the thing, Pog, Pog. But heading to the bridge, we learn that we've been asleep for 4 years and the Covenant are hostile again. Despite the truce we made with the very recently genocided elites, but whatever, I guess we need something to fight, and a lot of things can change in 4 years. During our fight with the Covenant, a Forerunner planet seemingly comes out of nowhere, and we get sucked into the gravity well. Welcome to Requiem. Waking up on Requiem, Cortana drops a new detail about Halo's AIs. A 7-year lifespan? Rampancy? I feel like there might be a better reason for rampancy from Cortana, but I feel like this is setting the seeds for a worse decision later.
Voices of your children calling to Cortana.
Like us. Shipboard AI, emergency completely space
My allegiance is to I stand with you, Cortana.
Chief wants to get her to Dr. Halsey and Cortana something, don't make a promise you can't keep, but now that you mention it, we should probably get back to Earth and Dr. Halsey.
I won't recover from rampancy, Chief.
I want to mention it, seeing as how it's a complete long shot, but since you brought it up, it is possible that getting home could help me find a solution for my rampancy.
Getting off the Hog, we enter the Forerunner building and press a bunch of buttons. We learn that the UNSC Infinity is tracking our distress signal that crashed with the Forward onto Dawn, but while trying to track the Infinity's position, the Forerunner symbol for Reclaimer appears. Grumble, grumble. After our cool enemy intro, we escape through the portal Cortana didn't know she opened, probably because she didn't, and now we disable the jammer, stopping us from contacting the Infinity. Enter portal, break 3 orbs, leave. Repeat one more time, but the Covenant's around this time. And then we are presented the orb. This got a whoa out of me, but it's kind of just silly after this. This level is going to be the one time the Prometheans and the Covenant fight each other, so enjoy it while it lasts. Getting to the beep boop comms console, somehow the orb gets activated and spits out,
"Their ascendance may yet be prevented."
which looks like the love child of Nosferatu and Voldemort while doing a Warframe cosplay. And he's got space magic. This here is a Forerunner. Grumble, grumble. Quick piece of praise to the enemy design. Before the Didact, this guy, was released, all the Prometheans had a blue accenting light, but after he gains control of them, they turned orange, which also recontextualizes why they were fighting you in the previous segment. They wanted to stop you from releasing the Didact. Now they're working with the Didact. Anyway, he throws Chief and enters back in the orb which imprisoned him, using it as transport now, I guess. This is very goofy. We escape the area on an overcharged ghost, but now the Infinity is crashing onto Requiem, and the Didact is after them. Navigating the jungle, we find our friendlies.
Afraid we're gonna have to give you an IOU on that welcome home party. Tom Lasky, first officer of the Infinity.
Lasky's good, we like him. The captain of the Infinity has Lasky and his squad doing a scouting run mid-attack. A risky play, but I can see the reasoning. Unfortunately, our friends don't have a ride back, and we're asked if we can secure an LZ. We go shoot some more Prometheans, and now we have Marines to back us up. But our way is blocked by a door that Cortana has to unlock. During her unlocking, she goes a little schizo. Oh no, the rampancy is getting worse. Cortana, why are you yelling? We secure the LZ, but the Covenant has breached the bridge, so we need to hurry back over there and secure the Infinity. To do so, we're given a fucking tank and a goddamn mech. So this shit mega rad. We just need to destroy these jammers on the hull and hold out for the guns to come back online. Push button, pew 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 pew. Meeting Captain Del Rio on the bridge, we learn that what the Infinity was doing that brought them here. They were sent out to the other Halo installations to set up outposts and prepare them for decommission, finding the coordinates to Requiem from Installation 03. And we're given our next course of action, destroying the gravity well keeping us trapped here with the intention of leaving.
You mean we're leaving?
Sir, Infinity drove the Didact back. He's vulnerable.
He isn't the only one.
Mounting the Mammoth, we move towards the big fuck-off cannon in the sky. The Pelican that was carrying the targeting system for the Mammoth was shot down. So after we pick that up, we traverse the canyon and destroy the several big fuck-off cannons in the sky with our own micro fuck-off cannon. But a new Covenant ship shoots a laser at it and oh no, big fuck-off gun is dead, cries. Anyway, we blow up the Lich, but with the Mammoth so badly damaged, teams are split off to divert fire. Cortana goes another schizo moment and explains that Rampancy is AI thinking themselves to death. And now the road is blocked, so we have to go out on our own. Into this Forerunner structure. Nothing bad could happen here. There are sentinels here, and they lead us to where we can turn off the big fuck-off guns.
This could be a trap.
You say that like there's a second possibility?
Oh no, Cortana's been yoinked. Aw, she's probably inside this fancy light.
Who are you?
I am what remains of the Forerunner. Your physical evolution? Your combat skin? Even your ancilla, Cortana? You are the culmination of 1,000 lifetimes of planning.
Ah, shit. Grumble, grumble. This is a bit dense, put a pin in this, we'll come back. After our lecture from the librarian, we grab Cortana, get out of the Forerunner structure, and are spat in the middle of a combat zone. Infinity can't aim well, we can. We get into a tank, pew-pew our way to a clearing, Mac view, big boom. Back on the Infinity, Del Rio and Chief gets into a mog-off to see whose dick is bigger, and John fucking Halo wins. Obviously. Cortana waxes poetic about her feelings as Chief is planning to jump ship and strand himself on Requiem to fight the Didact who is leaving in about an hour. This is a dumb plan. But Lasky, being best boy, gives us a fully kitted out Pelican. This is really cool. 4-5 games into a series and we finally get to fly one of these? Rad. We don't spend a lot of time in it, but whatever. We fly around and turn off the stuff inside of these towers. After Master Chief hitches a ride outside of a Lich to catch up with the Didact, we see that he's moved to Installation 03, or more specifically an outpost near Installation 3, that is housing the Beat Boopinator. We'll talk about the Beat Boopinator. Chief commandeers the vessel, Cortana has a moment, they crash. After securing the landing bay, we meet up with Dr. Tilson and tell her the deal with the Didact and his wanting of the Beat Boopinator. She tells us that it'd be impossible for us to move, and we tell her to nuke it. She has a bit of a cry, cause however many plus years working here, all of that gone now, but she arms the nuke anyway.
Maybe next time you rescue us, you can give us more time to pack?
Next time.
I feel incredibly bad for her. But we're too late to save everyone, and they all get turned to ash. Except for Chief, because of the plot armor buff he got from the librarian. Cortana is sad, Chief reassures, and comforted, Cortana gets a ship ready. With the Didact heading for Earth, Chief speeds off in this near automata-ass flight section, and on the way contacting the Infinity, where Lasky has been promoted to captain, where he should have been to begin with. And they blow a hole into the ship where we can slip through. Now armed with a pocket nuke, we fight our way to the Beep-Boopinator. I like how in the corner of the screen it just says nuclear device acquired, like it can be dropped or stolen or something. But thankfully it can't, because this would be so much worse. Once got into the Didact, Cortana splints her rampant personalities into the ship, which she could do apparently, at 3 different consoles, and then we press F to win. Mouse 1 to watch cutscene. Cortana is dead, Didact from beyond the grave laments his failure, and Chief takes off the armor. On Legendary, you get to see 1/5 his face for half a second. Clearly, this isn't canon. As we all know, underneath John Halo's helmet is another helmet. Boop. 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 What? Oh shit! Mecha? Whoa. Chunk, 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 chunk. The game itself is incredibly mid to play, but spectacular to look at. Weapon designs, enemies, new environments is all very nice to look at, and there are several moments in the game where I audibly woed. I need to give this game as little praise as it deserves, because I don't want it to seem like I hate this game for no reason. One of the first things to be noticed is that ammo is kind of scarce. The worst offenders for this is the plasma pistol, going from 9 shots in CE to 4 fully charged shots. The Needler going from 72 in Halo 3 to 44, which can only kill like an elite per clip, and the Magnum, which after the Dawn I never saw again. But this problem isn't limited to those guns, those are just the worst offenders. Any gun that isn't DMR derivative, like DMR battle rifle, alien carbine, or the Promethean carbine, whatever the fucking name is, all have shoddy ammo and seldom make themselves available. Now, having tight ammo in a linear campaign shooter isn't necessarily a problem. It's a viable, though I would say lazy, way of getting your players to explore more guns that they would otherwise not use. Which would be nice if they gave me any other weapons, but guns also despawn from the ground after a while. The only guns not susceptible to despawning are the ones stationed in armor racks, which is why you get so much DMR derivative. So imagine yourself in a heated firefight, and you go to where some recently killed enemies were just to realize all of their guns have despawned. Now your only option is to melee one of the 3 knights in front of you, or die trying. I legit had a gun despawn in front of me. I wasn't recording when this happened, but I was at the start of the level, and the second before I was going to pick up the gun, it despawned. I should have been recording for this. I wasn't, but you have to trust me. It happened, I swear. Like, I found the LMG on Requiem, and I was really excited to use it, but burned through the ammo in like 3 minutes. Never saw the gun again. Okay, that's not true. I saw it like 2 more times. The Saw is on Requiem, Showdown, and Midnight. That's it. That's the only time you're going to see this gun. 72 shots per clip or clips total, and it takes about half a clip to kill an elite. Maybe a full clip to kill a knight. This is bad. But speaking of new guns, this game adds a handful. There's the Saw, as I mentioned, but there's also a railgun to the human arsenal. 1-shot chamber, but very high damage. I vibe with this gun so hard. I wish it gave it to me more. They also replaced the plasma rifle with the storm rifle, a minor annoyance that they removed gun parentheses covenant, but it would have been nice to have both, like how Reach has the alien repeater and the plasma rifle. But it's not a huge deal. And there's also a new set of weapons, the Promethean weapons. With this new set of weapons, there's also a new enemy type to provide them. Meet the Prometheans. I like these enemies conceptually, but they are almost everywhere. Like, the Covenant are much less present, and when the Prometheans are around, it's almost like you're only fighting Prometheans. And therefore, the Promethean weapons are the only ones that you ever get. Those are the weapons you're most likely going to use throughout the entire game. Also, the Knights are incredibly annoying to deal with. Like, they're a bit beefier than Elites. I like how 5 did this more, the Knights, with their weak spots on the sides. But the ones in 4 are just incredibly annoying. Other than that, these enemies are cool looking and they're interesting, like, conceptually. I just wish we had a bit more variety. There's also utility equipment in the game, which adds a bit of variety to the strategies that can be performed. It's fine. I like them. I like Shield. Shield's the best one. You can't change my mind. Before I wrap up the gameplay and move on to plot, I do want to give an homage to dual wielding. Dual wielding was introduced in 2 and continued in 3, dropped from ODST onward. Dual wielding allowed for so many additional strategies. Having a 10-gun arsenal without dual wielding gave around 45 different combinations in our 2 gun slots. But having a 10-gun arsenal with 5 of them being interchangeably dual-wieldable has so many different variables that I gave up on the math. What, you think I'm gonna finish this? I'm American. School here isn't about education. It's about real estate speculation and sports scouting. The school's gotta get their money somehow, for some reason. Double SMGs clears grunts, jackals, floods. Plasma rifle in the left hand to break elite shields, SMGs to finish them off. Plasma Pistol Magnum can break Jackal's shields and insta-headshot. Double Needler can just about decimate anything, and same thing for Double Plasma Rifle, especially in 3. It's truly a shame ODST removed it, because dual-wielding the ODST SMGs or the ODST Magnums would have slapped so insanely hard, and they kept the ODSTs capable of ripping out miniguns, so, like, why can't they hold, like, 2 guns? But whilst ODST had an amazing atmosphere and Reach had a phenomenal story, as well as both of them having good enemy and weapon variety to counter this change, Halo 4 doesn't. Like, it would matter without them giving more ammo for each gun, so just slapping dual wielding on 4 wouldn't be a fix, but it would have made the gunplay more interesting, at least.
Give me that chip. I am ordering you to surrender that AI!
No, sir.
The UNSC have, throughout the series, been characterized as being the best of humanity, and their captains have been extremely practical. Captain Cutter, Captain Keyes, his daughter Miranda Keyes, and Fleet Admiral Lord Hood have all put humanity first despite their personal feelings. Del Rio, on the other hand, has a small dick and is overcompensating. I don't know what his purpose is in the story except to be annoying and facilitate Cortana's outburst, but he is constantly antagonistic towards Chief, and is very concerned about the well-being of his boat, first and foremost. Mind you, the Covenant, who nearly annihilated humanity, but only 4 years prior, are under Didact's control, as well as an army of Prometheans who the UNSC have never fought before and have no experience with. Yet, being practical and sticking around to fight, or hell, leaving Chief to fight, is out of Del Rio's purview. Because he's a bitch. Lord Hood let Chief go on the Ark based on his trust of Cortana, who could at this moment very well be compromised in the possession of the Gravemind, whilst Del Rio calls Chief senile, and when Cortana has an outburst, he demands she be decommissioned, at this point same, and the Chief arrested for not letting his best girl be killed. An easy solution, I would say, is to cut Del Rio completely and make Lasky captain of the Infinity. He becomes that anyway by the end. Lasky is still doing a scouting run on Mission 4 as a risky but calculated maneuver. You still get to destroy the gravity well on Mission 5 to secure an escape, and with the damage to the Infinity, it becomes the best play to split up forces. Chief and a few Spartan 4s take down Didact while the Infinity sends a warning to Earth. So instead of Chief storming off to fight Didact, Lasky is built up as a competent leader, and there isn't an unnecessary yelling. Hell, Cortana can still have an outburst here, which would make her rampancy feel like more of a debilitating thing, which the game is clearly trying to tell us that it is. So making Del Rio wrong and Cortana right hurts their own message here, because Lasky, in my hypothetical, would be making a reasonable decision, and Cortana would be getting mad at him, instead of Del Rio insulting Chief's acuity and demanding the decommissioning of Cortana. Grumble, grumble. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Can we talk about Spartans for a second? I don't care as much about this, but it's contentious in my friend group, and I have some thoughts on it, so this entire video is my thoughts, so shut the fuck up. I'm so hostile. God damn. So Spartans are the result of genetically modifying children and training them to become soldiers, Spartan 1s being the most experimented on. Halo 4 has the Spartan 4s, who are basically ODST and Spartan Drip, volunteers from different military professions, smacked with genetic steroids and given Mjolnir armor. I have no problem with this conceptually, like, yes, the Spartans were crucial to winning the Human Covenant War, I would hope, so all that suffering doesn't go to waste. And sure, the Spartan 4s aren't as strong or tough or whatever as Spartan 1s, but having the earlier generations of Spartans being out of commission, being replaced by a volunteer force, can be seen as another way of humans healing from the conflict. This is overall very good. The problem Halo 4 has is the one named Spartan 4, Sarah Palmer, she does literally nothing in the base game, and all her characterization is in Spartan Ops. I played one Spartan Op, and frankly, no thanks. I'm not interested. When she's introduced, the camera lingers on her like she's important. She's given main character energy, but ultimately all she does is stand in the background and be a little sassy. But besides being an absolute nothing of a character, I don't have much problem with this. She could be great, she could be terrible, I don't know. I'm not digging the Spartan Ops. The characterization of Master Chief has also been changed in an interesting way. He's been made an absolute yapper.
Where are we? Why did you wake me? Where are the closest escape pods? What's it doing?
I threw up.
In the other games, Chief talked exclusively in the cutscenes, and even then only sometimes. A man of few words but many actions.
Just one question. What if you miss?
I won't.
For a brick, he flew pretty good.
During the gameplay, Cortana or a radio partner like Johnson or Keyes gave field intel on goals. Basically, if you're in control of Chief, his thoughts are your thoughts. And even during the cutscenes, any plan Chief gave, he would describe it in the most vague and badass of ways possible.
Sir,
Permission to leave the station.
For what purpose, Master Chief?
to give the Covenant back their bomb.
Permission granted.
He's in engineering. He must be trying to take the core offline. Even if I could get the countdown restarted, I don't know what to do.
How much firepower would you need to crack one of the engine's shields?
Not much. A well-placed grenade, perhaps, but why? Okay, I'm coming with you.
If Halo 4 were in this scene, Chief would answer with a very blatant and straightforward, "My plan is blowing up the engines manually. It's the only way to stop the monitor and kill the flood," or something like that. I don't know.
Can you give Cortana access to the station's supply manifest?
What for?
If we can't move the composer, we have to make sure the Didac can't either.
Inventory lists 7 excavation-grade Havoc mines. Just one of those would turn this base into a piñata.
I'm sorry, Doctor. Keep routing your people to the evac centers. Once we take care of the composer, you won't have much time.
And Cortana was never shy about info dumping in the previous games or telling the player where they needed to go next. Every piece of information given to the player has to be preceded by a question, even when completely unnecessary. It's fine for Master Chief to begin to talk more as Cortana's rampancy is getting worse, indicating his worry for her by him actually changing his behavior throughout the gameplay instead of the game just saying, "Oh, he's so concerned." But having him talk non-stop before he even leaves the pod, I would say is a little bit too much. Also, Cortana's rampancy itself is weird and kind of stupid. A 7-year lifespan and having the game start 4 years after the Human Covenant War, before Reach, the closest major colony to Earth, even started recolonization, was a strange and arbitrary choice that makes so many things in the game just not line up. Why not make the lifespan 80 years? Why have a lifespan at all, when it's established that Cortana has a piece of Halsey's brain powering her, and she was in the possession of the Grave Mind for a time, which, as a reminder, the Flood feeds off all biological material. I think a chunk of brain is biological material. There's a good excuse for rampancy, I'd say, or any type of system failure for Cortana. Did they want it because they had planned this dog-awful scene from Halo 5? So all the AIs have a reason to unite under evil Cortana? Did they do 4 years because it's Halo 4? What the fuck? Okay, I guess.
You are the culmination of 1,000 lifetimes of planning.
I guess this kind of explains how Cortana can turn a physical object into a digital one. So let's break down the history laid before us by the librarian. I'm also including some stuff from the lore terminals hidden around the maps. The Forerunners and humans went to war, but humans weren't expanding like the Forerunners thought, they were running from the Flood and glassing any planet that had an infection. Because of their war, the Flood fucked up the Forerunners, and the Didact made the Beep Boopinator that turned people into digital mechanical forms. So all the Prometheans that we were been fighting were previously human and or some Forerunner, but mostly human. They were mostly human. The Beep Boopinator, however, strips the personality of those turned, and they can't be turned back to organic forms. But Didact cares not and turns humanity, like as much of humanity, into Beep Boops to fight the Flood for him. Them being immune now in their mechanical forms and, paying penance for bringing the Flood to their shores. The rest of the Forerunners, at least the ones that we see, are like, fuck that immoral shit, locks up Didact, and plans the whole Halo rings, arcs, reseeding of the etc, etc. But they also are the architects that led to the Spartan Project and the creation of Cortana and the Human Covenant War, maybe, in order to kill the Flood, which were contained on the rings and loose Forerunner planets and ostensibly Dharmit, and maybe fight Didact at some point, like who they should have predicted would want to reclaim the Beep Boopinator, but they hoped would have a change of heart. Shit, I have a fucking migraine. Oh, and this cutscene ends like the game is about to tell me, yeah, push button to activate ability, but this upgrade is purely plot, no gameplay changes. It would have been cool to have another ability. Save the universal sprint for after this moment, instead of just having it at all times, but like, whatever. So now Forerunners are their own distinct things, and humans are the, quote, reclaimers. So the literal interpretation can be completely refuted by one line.
You are the child of my makers, inheritor of all they left behind. You are Forerunner. But this ring is mine.
But, like, there are more lines that proves this, so I should probably share those too. In the library, Guilty Spark says,
The installation was specifically built to study and contain the Flood. Their survival as a race was dependent upon it. I am grateful to see that some of them survived to reproduce.
Into Betrayals, after explaining the Halo Rings kill radius, Guilty Spark also says,
But you already knew that. I mean, how couldn't you?
Left out that little detail, did he?
We have followed outbreak containment procedure to the letter. You were with me each step of the way as we managed this crisis.
Chief, I'm picking up movement.
Why would you hesitate to do what you've already done?
We need to go, right now.
Last time you asked me, if it were my choice, would I do it? Having had considerable time to ponder your query, my answer has not changed. There is no choice. We must activate the ring.
Also on the Maw, he says,
You can't imagine how exciting this is, to have a record of all of our lost time. Human history, is it? Fascinating.
Bizarre statements to be making to someone who isn't Forerunner. It's kind of weird. So in the literal, this is contradicted so many times in Combat Evolved alone, but I'd argue that this retconning completely invalidates the themes of the series. So what is Halo's story about? I've always seen Halo's story as about humanity's ability to persevere in the most dire of situations, about the destructiveness of hubris and blind faith, about the power of working together, unity, and how hard things become once divided. When Master Chief is presented with the choice to kill the Flood, an all-feasting existential threat to all life in the galaxy, right now, but kill everything else in the galaxy too, Master Chief chooses to not do that and to continue fighting, to find another way, to survive. The Arbiter, when presented with the truth of the Great Journey, rejects it at first, but comes to terms with the Halo Rings not being salvation, but being a genocide machine, and starts to fight back against the Prophets. This may have also had something to do with his people being genocided, but the message is still there. What does Halo 4's story have to say? Halo 4 wants to tell a more personal story, the emotional journey of Master Chief and Cortana. One is a machine who wants to feel the warmth of the sun, and the other a human raised like a machine. Dr. Halsey says this in the prologue.
Your mistake is seeing Spartans as military hardware. My Spartans are humanity's next step.
Cortana says something similar.
Before this is all over, promise me you'll figure out which one of us is the machine.
And at the end, Chief semi-reaffirms it, but is rebutted by Lasky.
Our duty as soldiers is to protect humanity, whatever the cost.
You say that like soldiers and humanity are two different things. I mean, soldiers aren't machines. We're just people.
There's also a strong parallel with Didact and the Spartan Project. Didact turning humans into knights, forced into machine bodies to fight a war with their personhood stripped from them, and the Spartan Project being a program to make super soldiers from genetically modifying and training children in order to suppress human rebellion. This feels very told and hardly shown. We're told Spartans have a hard time socializing, but Chief is constantly talking with Cortana and pushing back against Del Rio. Making the Forerunners a separate species doesn't help this idea either. Imagine if Didact was a human, mutilated by evil science so 343 can keep their ugly villain spectacle. It would be literally history repeating itself. 5 could have furthered the history repeats itself from those who don't learn from it deal with the Guardians, which are basically planet-sized cops meant to police a solar system. But this is weakened by the fact that Forerunners aren't human anymore, and it becomes, oh no, the superior alien threat with their mega big super guns. The Covenant, to an extent, was this with the mega guns, but their strength came from the unity of the multiple species working together towards a greater goal, their great journey. And once those species start fighting each other, they collapse. This change to the lore weakens the game's own themes, but it also undermines the themes laid by the previous games. Oh, you know the whole human perseverance thing? Nah, the Forerunners planned that. It was actually the Forerunners who made Cortana, not human ingenuity. It was the Forerunners that made the Spartans, so all that suffering actually was their fault. It's even worse if you engage with the terminals and see that humans were literally just curb-stomped into the Stone Age and kept as pets. The only thing keeping humanity around was the compassion of the librarian. The only thing that allows Chief to beat Didact is the immunity to the Beat Boopinator given to him by the librarian. If he never found her, it would be game over for all of humanity. If this is supposed to be, oh, the librarian knew that humans were going to create the Spartan Project and the Cortana AI because she trusted them to be so smart and so ingenuitous, then, like, what's the point of this? What's the point? What did you plan? You put humans on the Ark to reseed the galaxy, but other than that, what the fuck? Why take the strength and ingenuity of humans and hand it off to this proto-race when it does nothing for the story, themes, or world building? Every great journey starts with a single step. This is our beginning. Thanks for trusting us with the universe you loved and joining us on this epic adventure. Aww, what a sweet message. Hate to break it to you, dear, but you fucked it up. This scene, in a literal interpretation of events, is confusing and contradictory to what the previous games have presented, and thematically disregards the other games' moral intent to prop up its own poorly executed ideas. As a game, it's forgettable, and as a story, it's abhorrent. It's fanfic with a budget. Shit doesn't even get better in 5, well, gameplay gets better, but all the interesting story stuff is sullied by 4 breaking the continuity. I see potential in Halo 4. All it would take to make this game great is changing a few lines from a few scenes, make the gameplay a little bit better, and it could have been great. It could have been fantastic, but it wasn't. So, Halo 4 is the best Halo. It has the mech, best Halo game in the series. They have a mech. They made the perfect mech, and somehow they fucked it up in 5. I love the mech. Okay. Oh, thump! Thump! Big thump! Wow!